price tag on it. No one knows.
We're holding Siv Dalit, yeah? We're holding Siv Dalit. It's when you achrish mevair ba maimer dikishon otenem is. Gama chayke chamshich hamleishel or hashvi or is that. Achri, the Rebbe is going to say that this part from Siv Dalit is the second part of the maimer. The Elam knows that the Elam said the Rebbe said the maimer 3 parts. So after till the end of after Siv Gimel, end of Siv Gimel, they stopped. But it was like L'chaim, with I think 2 Nigunim. I remember the Pratei Advarim, and then Siv Dalit is another part of the maimer. So achrish mevair ba maimer. Ik geschreven met achtenem heis. Ik ga maar kijken hem zich een meisje hashvil or dat. So Friedrich says, "Eimer, ik gila el kosay was amigdash." Maybe as a pasuk at the main gila, where was the main place in the world the darkness of angehert? Of course, that was in the base amigdash. Brings the pasuk the chsiv asil the migdash hand besechem, besechem loinemer, ela besechem besechem lechad lechem Yisrael. That's then he brings zel ganki mashakos so tzadikim yeshuar it's ishon alad aleh. Teaches that what does it mean tzadikim yeshuar v'yishkan alad aleh? Not that shad v'yishkan alad aleh, not like the pashas apos. That tzadikim yeshuar they're going to yash and let's say Eretz Yisrael and they're going to live there forever. So the aleha goes on Eretz. The different shad means the pshat is tzadikim yeshuar it's shugan eden. Why are they yishkan alad aleh is a reason why are tzadikim yeshuar eden? The pnei shem ashkinim mamshichim b'chinas shechen admon v'kadosh aleh. Tzadikim yeshuar tzadikim are going to yarshin gan eden. Why? Because they're being failed aved of yishkan alad aleh. They're mamshech alakus lamata. They're mamshech no adreg of ad aleh lamata. Therefore, they're going to yashin ganid. That's the Friedrich Rebbe saying that there was put in the aveda for mamshech and alakus lamata. So there's a special schar yishkan alad aleh. That's tzadikim yishuar yishu gan eden. B'shmashkinim hainem mamshichim b'chinas shechen admon v'kadosh b'chin of ad. That's yishkan alad aleh. B'chin of ad. Inin azed shechen ad inu var b'mayim. Figure some avar tafshin yud. What's the sheiches? What's the madreg of ad? What type of b'chin is it? But it's mavur to the Torah. Api maimer azer. So darkness mavur. What's this b'chin of ad? Rabbi Kaplan when was b'shed abed of tzadikim v'yishkan alad aleh she begidei lamad. So then the Friedrich Rebbe finishes up. He how do you say this is the beginning of the maimer of Yud. So he summarizes the. Friedrich says v'zeu Basi Legani legnuni l'makam sheikru b'tchila v'yikashrim et atlein ma'is. Does zakter not a maimer. Then the maimer starts v'inyin hu. And the Friedrich Rebbe says the Rebbe calls the hemshach. That's the Friedrich Rebbe starts. The Rebbe says, what's the Friedrich Rebbe? Friedrich says, what's the Vayininu? He said, then there was a Siddiq Ashchina at Ichet, Siddiqim Mamshechel again. And that's it. And that's the Aved that we're doing till today with Mamshech Ashchina Lamata, Yeshviz Gasel Kus Ba'ilam. What's the Vayininu? Friedrich starts up some new chapter in the Vayininu. The Rebbe adds in the brackets, Bas will the Friedrich Rebbe Dama Varzai. It says Vayininu, Bi Re'inin. What's that the biur? Was what's that the biur? So we said before that the air shel malam elamis could gilamat. Rebbe explained that the air that which darg was betachtenim ikashchin. That air which is the we get the slash is the air which is the air chabriya but air elamis. So that air has this mugdar and the hakbala that dafka elamis yenim are kedi for there. Shigin elam haza which is a low world elam chumri is shkin kedi tzalukus. Dafka air, Shalamalim since the air which is higher than Elamis, that air could be Lamata. But why was the air Dafka Lamata? Why was he Lamata Dafka? So that's the Friedrich starts explaining this part of the line. What did Ikashchina lose here in Elam Hazar? Why is this place the suited place for the deepest levels of Elikus? So does say to the Mazbers and the Hini Tachlis Kavanah Reza Shalshal Elam, ultimate intention why the Abisha created the whole establish the Shtal Shal Elam. Why did he make Atzilis and Akudim and all these Madrigas? What's the event the Tachlis in the Ganze Maisa? Because this Ava Kadish Baruch Hu Lish is what I did of Tachtenim. The Abisha had a taiva that you should have a dira b'tachtenim. So the Rebbe hit this is a quote from Tafshin Yud. This is the Rebbe hit on Mavaris. This is sif is a famous sif. The Rebbe let us in Yonim though, but we'll do through the Pashas Hadvar. V'hine Rabbeinu Azak in Mavaris that Alter Rebbe is Mavair. Haftaka Medrash. Medrash says it's Avgish Baruch Hu Lisa dira b'tachtenim. But Alter Rebbe doesn't just mean this Medrash. Alter Rebbe for some reason finds it important to bring heichachis that the Tachlis Sabri is Dafka Neilomad. Sagt er sich. Wenn sagt man bei Bezer Tachlis the Shalosh Elements really does fact that this whole in the Shalosh Elements and the Yerida the Elam LaElam is can sein das Shul Elam Salyan can be that never proves it. Why can't maybe the Abisha created Elam Hazeh for the sake of to be Mamshech Atzilis in Elam Hazeh. There's a certain level of Yichud and Vekas and Lukus which exists in Atzilis, and the Matara what the Abisha created this world is that even people living in this low world should also get to the same type of life which is not Atzilus. Who said them that who said Aveda is dafka to Tamit and Tacht? Doesn't mean that's what the Rebbe David created. David created Elam Haz. If the Tachlis was Atzilus, so why did he create more worlds? We should have stopped at Atzilus and that's it. Why was there Amshach Olam Atamat? But the Shaila is, we know David created Elam Haz and we're living here in this world. The Shaila is, what's the Aved in this world? Is there a special, unique quality that Dafka Tachtin has? And then a different type of Aved is needed to be Megala, the Elokus, which exists in the Tachtin? Or Vu is Elokus is Meir and Atzilus. And the reason why the Abishur made the Elam Haz is to be Mamshach Atzilus Lamata also. So Trev is coming to prove that there's something unique in Elam Haz which Elam Masal Yenim don't have. That's what it is. You can't say the Tachlis is Elam Masal Yenim. Why? Hail V'lehem Yerida Meir upon his Baruch. The Alter touches the Pashas that the Alter says in Tanya is that Atzilus is a tzimtzum. The Abishur says Atzilus is the highest Elam which exists is all the Ve'elakus Zech Mesamtzim. It's not the Ein Tzav. The Abishur says higher. It says Antu Chad V'lo B'chushban. The Abishur is higher than any definition, higher than any Elam, higher than any Sfira. So you can't say that where is the Tachlis Hakavana, where is the ultimate Dveikus with the Abishur? That's not Atzilus. The highest Elam is already Gvul. So that's called Yeridim Erpan of Yisbarach. It's already a tzimtzum from Erpan of Yisbarach. Can't just sagen, so VEF Shalema, Shakavanam Shalayrid, can't just sagen that the Abishur made his Tarsos Elam is for the sake of a Yerida, so that's not tzimtzum. Before Elam is the Lukusik event on tzimtzum, the Lukusik event and the Hechstefan. You can't say that Elam say, das steht Einza. This is Pashas Valterism. Here the Rebbe goes in and says, the Rebbe brings a whole, this is a quote from Perek. We're going to see soon. This is das steht in Perek Lamed Zayin. Mashek Elam Hazal tells us. What's my Elam Hazal? The Alter Rebbe says one beer in time. The Alter Rebbe says because Yisrael Techachesha, that get through Yisrael Techachesha is Gal Erin Sof, which is higher than Erin. That's what the Alter Rebbe says in Perek Lamed Zayin in time. But the Rebbe gives her. You
can't say this word in
no, because you don't have the inner Yisrael Techachesha. So you don't have the inner of Erin Sof. This is what Alter Rebbe is inviting.
Why? It's more Chesha than
because Elam Hazal that you have Yisrael Techachesha. Yisrael Techachesha is negay attack in Erin Sof. That's what Alter Rebbe is Mazin Perek Lamed Zayin. But the Rebbe gives her a different beer in the Perek Lamed Zayin. The Rebbe gives her. The Rebbe just quoted till now. That's wasn't the Shaila. That's what she gave us. That's in Perek Lamed Zayin. You look up Perek Lamed Zayin, you learn what it says. But here the Rebbe just quotes the beginning of Perek Lamed Zayin, which the Alter Rebbe says there that he can't say the Kavanas Atzilus. Atzilus is Tzimtzum. It's Isaiah Hechevel. But the guy with the Eibush there is not Insof. Atzilus is already a Tzimtzum. So you can't say the Kavanas for Tzimtzum. That's what he quotes. What's the Yichus Nilam Hazeh? So the Rebbe right away brings her a different beer. Yeah, you're with me in the Cheshma Advarim. This Rebbe starts. This is already not from the same quote of what the Rebbe was saying before. Hini Yodua that Bria Rakukechas. The Rebbe is like not Zweiter or that the Bria Sishma'ayin. Bria Velam Haz is only Bekechas. Which causes Bria Sishma'ayin that Yevechayei Hashem Muhusi Vasmus. So the Rebbe is like this. There was the Elam Hazeh Bashafim Gevar. Shaila is what type of power Kaviyachol? What type of qualities do you need to create such a world? So Alter Rebbe says it's not enough. Just the idea of Blig Vul is not enough to create Yishmael. You need to have Dafka the Keich of Atzmus himself. Blig Vul is not Atzmus. Blig Vul is a certain how do you say a certain Mailand Shleimus that the Eibush there contains Kaviyach. But that's not the Etzem Malkus. The Etzem Malkus is beyond the idea of Blig Vul. To create Elam Hazeh, you need to have the deepest Keich of Malkus. You need to have Atzmus. Was that from Azat to create Elam Hazeh? Such a hard thing to create. So Alter Rebbe is not like this. Because there's a Kaddish Ibechayei, that's this Iger Sakedish, the Ramaskel Ibechayei, Alter Rebbe wrote Kardiv Listalkuseh. You heard this? This is a Simen Chof in Iger Sakedish and Tanya. Alter Rebbe wrote it close to the Stalkus. So Alter Rebbe says over there, Hashem Muhusi Vatzmus, Eibush himself, the essence of Elokus, which Mitzayuse Hu Matzmus, his being, the fact that he exists, stems from him himself. From his atzmius, there's no one that came before him. He's not based on any reasoning or any makir. So that's only the Eibush himself. Only the etzem of Elokus is ainly ili v'sibah. All other ideas, even ruchnistic ideas, getlach ideas, nothing has to exist besides the Eibush himself. Does the idea of infinity have to exist? No, the idea nothing has to exist. So the fact that there's an idea of Ein Sof, that's as the there's yeshli ilu v'sibu shekadmole. The only mitzias which has no ilu v'sibu, which has no makir, his mitzias stems from himself, from Atzmus, from his own self. That's only the Etzem himself. That's only the Eibush himself. Is hechach from alle inyanim, and he himself is the only thing which is mechuyev mitzias. He's here in the ilu v'sibu, the only independent being. All other ideas are dependent that the Eibush wants them to be. The him is at a certain reason, to fulfill a certain function. The Eibush himself, that's only ilu v'sibu shekadmole. So the Alter Rebbe says only him, which has no ilu v'siba, which he is the full independent reality. Nothing he's only only him. This is Alter Rebbe's lashon Gersa. Hu levadi, only he himself, only him. He has the he has the ability and the power to create yesh ma'ayin to create the something from nothing, from ultimate nothing, literal nothingness. Only the Eibush himself. This is the Alter Rebbe. That was going to explain here why. The Alter Rebbe says here that Ilam Hazeh, that was going to explain the Hemshech. Why to create Azay Yesh, me'ayin, you need only that which has no prior siba, which is fully independent. He could create a Yesh, which is also fully independent. We're not really independent. We're also based, we come from a Makar, the Varavai, Yirak Eibush is a Yirakia. But since the Hergesh Nivra is that he has no Makar, to create a Nivra that doesn't sense any connection to a source, he just feels himself. You need someone which is not connected to any source. This is a
and this is only found in the Matzah Yash.
That's only Nilam Hazi had this Nikuda where it's a yesh, which doesn't sense any extension to a source. All other elements, they don't exist. They exist because they were brought into being. So their basic feeling is that they were brought into being, that they have a source. They're here mitzat something. That was going to explain Behemshech. So but the Bashafan has a certain seers which always senses that it's an extent, it's a result of a source, it's an effect of a cause. You don't need Keach Atzmos for that. But Elam Hazeh, which the natural feeling of the Yesh is that he exists. He wasn't created. He didn't come into being. He's here. So Azay Yesh, only someone which is independently here could create such a Yesh. So we're going to see this in a minute. This is the Rebbe's mark. Oh, was that in Alter Rebbe Gersa Kaidish? Hainu Shaishavas Inamai Gedolim. Ishavas Elam Hazeh didn't come from the milus and shleimus that exist in the world. There is the Eibish's virtues kaviyah. Any virtue, any inyan, the Eibish's bleak vol, and the Eibish's shleimus, any idea was created. It means it's not only Ili V'Sibish Kadmol. This Havas Elam Hazeh didn't come from any Giluim. It didn't come from any of the Eibish's milus kaviyah, the shleimus. The Vana stammt Elam Hazeh from Emalein, from Zayin Etzem, which that's only the Etzem Volkus is in the Ili V'Sibish Kadmol. Shaishavas Einam Geluim Ke'im Yatzmis. Vim came, we bald that this Havas Daf Kelam Hazeh is Moshe Shnatzis. Vim came, Ef Shalemar Shtachlas Shaishavas Moshe Shnatzis. Kemet Achnuzdagin. What's the purpose? Why did David create this world for Atzilus? We say, why did David create Elam Hazeh for Atzilus? Elam Hazeh, he invested himself in Elam Hazeh. And Atzilus, only his virtues Kaviyachol is Mizbat in Atzilus. You say, take just a dogma. A person has keiches, yeah? A person has seichel, yes, qualities. People have qualities. And then there is the you yourself, your I. It's not about your quality. Even if a person's qualities are not being used, there's the person himself, beyond the seichel, there's midas. There's the etzem adam. Then you have the qualities. So you're going to say a person has a child. So someone's going to say, then what's the purpose of his child is in order for the child to express the grace of seichel of the tata. What's the purpose of his kid in order to continue his father's projects there? The child comes from your pnimis. A person's etzem, the way he's beyond his projects, he invested in his child. So it can't be that something which is rooted in a deeper part of myself is just an emtzai for a chitzenistic part of yourself. It doesn't make sense to say that. It doesn't make sense to say that something which is a part of your life is here to serve a chitzenistic part of yourself. Okay, the purpose of why all your projects is for the sake of you, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your children, not fakir. So there's that was saying in Atzmos Halina language the Eibush is the Keach Etzem is Nelamad. And what Mizgal and Atzilus is Negal, the Eibush is greatness, is Chochmah, is Bina, is Giluim. That's not nicht in them, but steht der Etzem. No, only Elam has. That's what it says. Only Yesh Ma'ayin, the Eves Amukot Mamish.
Atzilus is not Yesh Ma'ayin?
No, not this type of Yesh Ma'ayin that needs Keach Atzmos. We're going to see later. The Eves Man touches up. The Meret as Velches Sort Yesh needs Keach Atzmos, that Sort Yesh, which doesn't sense that he has a Malkut, that he feels himself independent. That's what Elam has. So the Etzem of Tzcharangel invested himself in Elam Hazeh. Can't sagen that the reason that the Atzmos of Elam Hazeh is for the sake of Atzilus. In order for Atzilus, in order for the Eibish's Keiches to be revealed, the Eibish's Chochmah to be revealed, the fact of Hashem in Elam Hazeh. He wouldn't invest himself for the sake of bringing out a Chitzenis to get in Elam Hazeh. Forget to say that Atzilus is for Elam Hazeh. Why do you have the Eibish's Chochmah Kaviyachol? Why was the Eibish's Chochmah this Gale? For the sake of Elam Hazeh. But the Etzem gives in Elam Hazeh, that's what the Rebbe is being married. Versteht ihr mich?
Ja.
Das sagt er. So even Heinisch says Havas in my Gulim Kimatz. If Shalemish Task about Mishal Ilma Sal Yainin, why not? Shazreva says over here now another reason. Sharigam Ilmatzilis Gilehel Ilmatzilis who Gilehel Vim Kain Zay Yidder. There is another reason. Why can't you say that the Tachlis is for Atzilis because
you can't give more for less.
That verstehen the Cheshbenis Advarim. The Rebbe adds over here Bein Advarim that the Rebbe starts explaining. Since this Havas of Ilm Hazis connected to Atzmos, you can't say that this Havas of Ilm Hazis for Ilm Masal Yenim. The Rebbe says there another thing. Understand how it comes in the middle, but the Rebbe brings another point. The Rebbe says even Ilm Atzilis, it's Gilei Helim. Gilei Helim means Vim Kain Zeh Yiridim Erpanav Yisbarach. Yikshahoyu Eres Atzilis Behelam Hoyu Madrig Gvei Habriyez. The Rebbe says Atzilis. You can't say Tachas Atzilis because Atzilis itself was in a higher state before it was as Galin Ilm Atzilis. You say the purpose is, let's say, the Eibish's Chacham should be revealed. If the purpose is Atzilis itself was in a higher state when it was Nichlal in Keser. So if the purpose is Atzilis, if the purpose is the Eibish's Keiches Kaviyachol, you can't say it's Atzilis because the Eibish's Keiches were in a much higher degree before it was Nimshach and Eilams. So why did they create a world? Create a world was only being Yerida. So that's the answer.
You can't invest 5 for 3.
Right, yeah. But the Rebbe is saying which 5 more good? Yeah, there's different pattern. For each Kivish is that since B'chlal, even if Atzilus would be the highest in but what Atzilus Megala? His qualities, his virtues, his minus, San Shleimasim. Giluim is nicht Atzmos. Hari'ef Shalema Sh'Atzmos B'Shul. You can't talk that Atzmos is for Giluim. That's what the Rebbe says. You can't say that your child is here for your Chitzenis commands. This is connected to your previous anefesh. Hello, what's the tachas Ilm Hazah? What's the yichus of Ilm Hazah? That's the Rebbe says Ilm Hazah is connected to Atzmos. And the Rebbe is explaining through the Veda and Ilm Hazah you make all Atzmos. Of course, I don't say Parsha Zu. The Rebbe said the Maimer was Parshas Mishpat. No, Shalach. So the Rebbe is saying the Maimer then, whenever Yud Shvat was that year Tafshin Aleph, that the middle Rebbe explains in Parshas Shalach. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Listen to me saying Elam Sayyidam in this world. Elam Hazan Nirgash Mitziyusim Etzmus. Elam Hazan, it's the sense, the natural sense of the creatures here are that the Mitziyus, they weren't created by anybody. They're here. I exist. A table exists. There's no sense that it came from somewhere. It exists. It's fully independent. We'll skip the brackets for a minute. Okay, we'll do the brackets. That year, Tafshin Aleph, so the Rebbe gave out the Hemshich of Rosh Hashanah of Tafshin Aleph. The Rebbe gave out a kuntres in the Frierdiker Rebbe. Every Yom Tov, the Rebbe gave out a kuntres of a mimer from the Frierdiker Rebbe from the earlier years. So that year, Rosh Hashanah Tafshin Aleph is the Hemshich from Tafshin Satik Dalet. So dort in Redder by Riches in the Hemshich HaChepesh bin Nivra be'er. What's the meaning of Nivra? Frat Nivra Neil Haza and the Inin of Er. The air who raya alamoy. You look at the light of the sun. The light of the sun has no entity for itself. It doesn't have substance. So the air is megal to you that my substance is the mud. I'm only an emanation. I'm only a reflection of something much greater. So the air itself is megal that I'm only a reflection of something else. But shaking the nivra, you don't see the reflection of something. I am the it. I'm it. I'm the thing. I don't trace back to anything before me. I'm it. This is it. This is the thing. You look at a nivra. He's the source of the existence that exists within him. The Choras is the Mekabel Zayin Kiyim Neged Zam. That's not the Hegesh Nivra, that he's Mekabel, the fact that he exists. And the Zach, he's here. So, it asks me, is Mar Megal Shishmar. Shaking Yeshan Nivra, the Yeshan Nivra, and the Lazel, Vachin Megal Benishter. So I'm a cooked up a Nivra. So you don't see right away, you see the Nivra, you see that he's a weak reality, he's a weak existence, and he's Mekabel, he's only a Mekabel from his Beirus. Nicht das it. The Nivra doesn't show on his bed. Is a Shomalim and Masteras. Behalt on bed. For Adrab and Nirgash and Mitzusim Metzmus. The natural feeling of the Nivra is that Zametzir stammt von sich allein. So the Sechem Rosh Hashanah. So the Sechem we have Rayas Yechachis in Dovareis Esatzim. But that's not the natural feeling of the Yesh. So there was this after Zorak Bargashasi, even though the truth is that the Yesh and Nivra has a month. So why is Alter Rebbe saying Tanya that in order to create as a Yesh, that's Onkel Tzkei who could create such an independent being? Only the one that's really independent. What's the definition? What's the dimim? Atzmos taka has no makir, but the nivra has a makir. Elamai doesn't feel it. So to create this to create a nivra doesn't feel its makir. You need to have done something which has no makir. Why do you have to have such a? So the Rebbe says, yeah, even though the fact that the nivra has no source and that his mitzias stems from himself, he's fully independent being. That's only his. That's his hergish. This is the remes. To even have this, a person should have such a dimyan. To have such a sensation is dafke mushish from there. She never comes from this matzmus. The reason why it's kenzach duch means you have an idea that a person you can't be chesed someone on something that has no shaykhis to him at all. You can't accuse someone of something that has no relation to him altogether. You say it's a dogma that certain things. The fact that a person could convince himself that he doesn't have a source. If you can feel that means that he's shaykhis to that mitzvah which has no source. If you wouldn't have any shaykhis to that idea, he wouldn't be able to convince himself that. Because we have a shaykhis to atzmos, so es kennt sich bei uns duchten that we're the same nature of atzmos kaviyach. We have no makir. We exist. Even though it's only a dimyon, that's what happened. The Eibusha said, "Who amar vayeh." But to have such a dimyon.
Saying a very frightening thing. We have shaykhis to lachalemis.
How good. These are chalemis that are built into the system.
Saying the other way around.
Not,
if you didn't have shaykhis, you wouldn't even be able to dream that you created yourself.
But it happens to be that a person, like, I don't know this is damage this thing, but they say that a man doesn't have the same types as a Jew has. It doesn't have the same. A man is nicht cholim and chasim. This is marshal. I don't remember exactly the details, but so a man is not going to run for the Caesar's daughter, for the princess. He knows it's not begeder. It's not begeder. He's not even going to. He might try to run after the chaver with the king. They should give him his daughter as a. But Einemus is which is b'chal and a different color b'chal. He doesn't dream b'chal of you have anybody here is dreaming to be a president of, I don't know, be a president of the United States, let's say, or to be. It's not in your world b'chal. It's not in our surroundings. You're drawn to things that have some, where you convince yourself that you could get somewhere that you have some comparison to that idea. You're not going to dream to be something that's not within your world at all. You could dream good. People have talking about a real fantasy. Say that because there has to be some edit.
No, because if you go from 1 to 500, you're down.
There has to be some edit. There has to be some edit. So they were saying the fact that you could convince yourself that you don't have a mucker, do is duh. That's because you're shaykhis to that mitzvah, which is talking mitzvah. So zeguvish you need malek upon him came is because your sherish is not. If you the mushish in the madrega which has a makir, voltage you can't call him that we have mitzvahs. It's not based on the makir. Good, okay. Like upon him, so the Rebbe says so the yesh nivra, the nature of the yesh nivra is mushish natzis. Giluyim atzilus kabiyah is not atzilus is not mushish natzis kabiyah. Atzilus brings out the Eibusha's milas, his virtues, the shleimus, which is not the etzem. Every idea, every shleimus, every mila is something which hasn't, which the Eibusha wanted that he should have milas. It's not something which is ainly ilivasi b'shekad. If the Eibusha wanted, there wouldn't have been a musig of bleak vote, wouldn't have been any ideas. Dafkes atzilus is mushish Eibusha's milas kabiyah. Shaken the elam hazeh, the yesh nivra, that's rooted in himself, not in the Eibusha himself. And the far, that's the beer. Why does Dr. Ezek? Nimmt zum move on. From them is verstandig. According to this whole thing, wo gets charister atzmus? This dafkan the yesh nivra. From them is verstandig. What's the end goal? In the bria v'ishtashlus is nish farelus again, because they're in his geluim. That's a chitzen is the geni kabiyah. Kama kavano elam hazatach. Was durchzach shenid maleish any gidekim atzm. It's chaingeret that he is an independent being. He's an atzmi. Atzmi means that he's it. He's the beginning of the system. He's not a result of anything else. He's the etzem. That his mitzias comes from himself. Atish is zachas existiert. The nivra doesn't have an existential question on himself. He exists. There's that. So they are very but dur harav mit yesh. It is kafe besapcha. It is gala when the etzem where the yesh is mushish. And stat the cholim that we're living in, will discover the true shirish of the yesh, which is atzmus, the gala atzmus. And for this gili atzmus, the shvila hey bris shalosh. The ganze bris shalosh is given as the atzmus of the chem. The etzem will kush din is gala. Where could the etzem in his gala? Dafka the almaz. Dafka the yesh and nivra. And in them bashtet the tagas kavana is a ton mit yesh to megala atzmus. Yeah. This is now the Rebbe brings over here Sif Hey, it's a bit like Kabbalah Echet, but we'll go through some parts. Chalapachas. It says Leimi Be'ela Shiddush Min. Okay, this is to get out of the pratam, but the Rebbe wants to say over here. That's when he already established in Sibdal that Elam Haz is a yesh, Tzusim Atzmus, and the fact that Tzusim Atzmus that's because we're rooted in Atzmus. But the Rebbe Bavarns here as Indian. Now understand, I'm just saying, if we call the Rebbe's Bavarning here, that the Musik of Eshma Ayin exists, Dafkan Elam Haz. But there's no, even though in Kabbalah state that there's a musik v'eshma'ayin and the Rebbe is saying that's all relatively speaking. relatively to the earth, the kelim are considered yesh. But the true definition, the objective definition of yesh ma'ayin is that from Elam Hazeh. That's the beginning. We'll do these words. The chalapach. It's a kind of shittas in Kabbalah. If the kelim are in a bria, if the idea of chach mechesed the gvura teferes are creations, are brias, or the gidei helim. That's it. So gidei helim, they're not a bria. It's machlekes in Kabbalah. If the kelim are bria shma'ayin, or the kelim means there's the musagam of the keiches lamayla chach mechesed the gvura teferes. So you have these none the way they are in other course. The Eibush is Chacham, the Eibush is Bina, the Eibush is Gvura. That's called Kalim. There's these divine attributes, whatever that word means. If the word means anything to anyone. So these divine attributes, which are called Kalim, Chacham Chesed Gvura Teferes, is Machlekes Kabbalah, whether they were created Dishmain or they're Gilui of Hell. It means that the Ein Sof, before there was any, the Ein Sof is Kalim within itself, these 10 spheres, and the Kalim are just the Gili of what pre-exists in Ein Sof, or that the Ein Sof is Pasha B'Tal Sof Shittis, is beyond any definition. So all these definitions, these Kalim, these attributes, divine attributes, were created, but the Ein Sof is beyond this. This is a machlekes Kabbalah. So the simple reading of one Shitta is that the Kalim were created, because the Eibush is Ein Sof. So the Ein Sof is not Kalim Tzir. Ein Sof is not Kalim. These attributes that they were created. So of them Zakter Da, that even though we use the Lashon and Kalim Yeshma'ayim, but it doesn't mean literally Yeshma'ayim. It's only in Shiva Benusaj Lashon and divine attributes. Yeah? What are we vessels? Virus and Kalim. I'm saying it needs a very different what the idea of Kalim is, what's there, needs an explanation. Good. Huh? No, there's already, this is not the place to explain it. Here we're dealing with different points. This is the Rebbe's use a secular lashon. So the Rebbe is already. This is not for starters. The Rebbe is in Yanam with even divas Ken Chassidus and the other Zachen. I'm saying it's a academic Indian over here. The Rebbe is this shit, that shit, but the Rebbe is not explaining the basis of the idea here. So, but let's do what the Rebbe is. Yeah, what's in the gate already. I'm not saying they're stars. I'm saying that the Maimer is Teich Inin Shem. Let me buy the Shiddush Mivat Musam Sadiq Kama Kel That Silsa. That's the first of these videos and the Zach. Good. Let me buy the Shiddush Mivat Musam Sadiq Kama Kel That Silsa. We give the hell. The shit is already bevade in a kavan of Shila Tzilas Kari. They read the regular. So according to the shit, I kill them are only a gilu the night. So there's a bad. It's you read it. It's only gilu. Gamla shitash nish maybe sham shvay kilim briyesh ma'ain. Lur bekam kemesh mash on him shakilim briyesh ma'ain. In a kavan ish ma'ain mamish. So dafkan gabi relatively speaking. Because then yes. There's a shish gamla shivu shkuna sel. Nothing comes to some vision between us. Yes, get out of protocol. Khen gabi erim kreatim briyesh ma'ain. Gabishim get out. And kavan. We can move on. What's the result of it? The ene kavan elam hasel.
Even according to that.
Yeah. Even kavan elam hazata. Savcha v'savcha. The aveda is elam hazeh, and says unique aveda is kav v'savcha. What's the pshat? This needs a beer, but it's not the sishal regalachas. This bavarnish. Oh, now there it says if the ikar kavana is. What's the purpose of the shalosh elements? What's the purpose of Torah mitzvahs? For Gilead Atzmos, which is going to be elam hazeh. It says in Chassidus. Achshav, they see as a mitzvah. It says when he does a mitzvah now. So in this world, we don't see any change when we do a mitzvah. Not like we're and we don't see atzmos. So it says in Chassidus when he does a mitzvah, taste of edus natzilus. Let's say in Chachmat Atzilis gets a deeper asag in the lukus when we do a mitzvah. Because if the whole purpose was elam hazeh, this galus ha'etzem. So we come to when we do a mitzvah, it contributes that Atzilis is in you. If the whole purpose of his havas elements, the whole purpose of Torah mitzvah is that atzmos should be nezgala, so we can assign that when we do a mitzvah, ha'intik etzayit atzmos not nezgala. If I care, Atzilus gets benefit. So l'chore the mashma says that the Torah mitzvah is for the sake of Atzilus. So them sagt maybe last love will be nezgala atzmos, but today who's the one benefiting from Torah mitzvahs today? Where's the main energies being invested? L'chore it's not Atzilus. Because they're the ones gaining. The Rebbe says nishtas.
That's tachlis.
Yeah, good. But l'chore, if the whole, how could you say? How could you use a mitzvah which is for the sake of atzmos? How could you use it for atzilus? If the kavanah is haved elam hazes connected to atzmos, how could atzmos be used kaviyachol for in of giluyim? And today, who's the one benefiting? Who's the one getting from the area?
Giluyim is the direct result of directly infused with atzmos, no?
So that's already in Pashtus. Giluyim is a lower level. Giluyim is a lower level.
That's the way it is.
The way it is. You say that the person, it doesn't make sense to say
Not
that
that,
you're doing something which is an inyan pnimi. How could this inyan pnimi, instead of who's the one deriving benefit of it, something which has no shaykhs that has that?
Deriving benefit doesn't mean that's the matara.
If I stay, but
Doesn't mean that's the tachlis.
it's not. But there can't be anywhere that the kavanas etzem is not verish. There is no value. Now, Zema var Adam Marash, she'eres ele batzilus and k'misham k'menachem b'kufsik. Any b'shvilatzilus. That says there that there's takatesis eres natzilus, but it's not for the sake of it. The kavanah, since the kavanah zelam has it, the fact that there's tesevis eres batzilus is all for the sake of it. All for the sake of the Mishal says. There's no distinct kavanah in Giluyim detached of Elam Ha'ad. The fact that there's Nihaisaf in Giluyim is manazeh. That's all for the sake of loss, for the sake of Elam Ha'ad. Good. Let's just finish off this thing inside. Is lower, is nicht der Etzem. Atzmus is beyond Giluim. Tachlis Olam Hazeh Tachlis Kach All Bertzeni is Baruch Eibshot as a Gewalt. All Bertzeni is Sure, one of his work is Kaf Sitrach. That what's going to cause him pleasure when we break the Sitrach of Sabbath Sheikh Lenair. Shavar Ba Maimer Shkola V'Yolat B'Chishtos Luz L'Shtos Gusha. By these Nachas Rol Fanish Ma'av Nasir Tzeni Vad is Amshir Shali Deris V'Tachtenim through the Aved of Sapcha V'Sapcha. Pale that there should be this Sapcha the Shtos Luz will come to the Gusha. Begin Nachas Rol Ma'av. Stem is my mom. She is bar the with aftenim. Kmei adira. Ari Adam darbe uchalatz. The whole pnimis Adam lives and dwells in the direk. Making but aftenim shim direk is bar. Vana shim shim lerek ulim kim nitzba atzvus in saborchu. So tas bris v'shtash oseilumis. I think till here was the no. The next part is also part of the second chelik. I'm so you think. These two sif and that was one part of the mimer, and then there was a break. Good.
You saw this. Two breaks, right? Later.
Be able to finish it next week, yeah? Is that the might fire the 9:15? Be able to finish the whole mimer next week. Huh?
You think so?
Why not?